The iPhone 11 Pro Max is kind of a perfect phone. Let me explain. So I've been using the iPhone 11 Pro Max ever since it came out. I actually got it the first day it was released to the public, which was back in September 20th, 2019. It is currently January 18, and I can happily say that I've had a great experience using this phone. Of course, the first thing that came to my mind buying this phone was the price. Like, is it really worth $1,300? My short answer, kind of. Besides the fact that I bought this phone mainly just to review it for the channel, I also wanted to test out the new iPhone 11 Pro Max because of its awesome camera. That was like the main selling point for me, was the triple camera on the back, which we'll get to just in a second. But before that, let's talk about the build quality of this phone. I really like the way this phone feels in my hand. It definitely feels special. The phone's made out of stainless steel and glass. The front and back of the phone is made out of glass, well, the toughest glass, like as Apple likes to say it. And the matte finish on the back is unlike any other phone I've used. It feels almost soft to the touch and doesn't attract as much fingerprints like the old iPhones. Plus, the durability of this phone is great. I use it without a case from time to time, and even now it still looks like new. Like, there's no scratch on the back or on the screen, but I put a tempered glass on the screen. That's probably why. But yeah, this phone definitely feels premium. Alright, this probably is not going to be for you, but listen here, buddy. Don't be hating on the iPhone 11 Pro Max just because you're an Android user, or I don't know why you'll be hating, probably because you don't use it. I don't know, maybe you should use an iPhone 11 Pro Max with an Android phone for a couple of months, then give your idea, but no need to be hating on these phones. All these phones are amazing, and we should just enjoy them. Alright, let's get back to the phone. So the iPhone 11 Pro Max has a beautiful Super Retina XDR OLED display. It's a 6.5-inch display with a 83.7% screen to body ratio. It has really thin bezels. It might not be as thin as other Android phones, but one thing I do love about the iPhone is that there's not any accidental touches. Like on my Samsung S10 Plus, I would have a lot of accidental touches when I was using it with one hand, and yeah, that just got annoying. And yeah, the iPhone also has a 458 pixels per inch, and they say this is the brightest screen on a smartphone. It can get as bright as up to 1200 nits when you're viewing HDR content. The iPhone 11 Pro Max overall is a very symmetrical phone. The bezels are thin and they are symmetrical on all sides besides the notch. But the notch, let's talk about that. I don't really get annoyed with that. Doesn't really bug me at all when I'm watching videos, but I do wish it was smaller or it was just con. But yeah, the notch really isn't a big deal, for me at least. I mean, I also didn't like the notch when I first saw it, but I'm just saying I got used to it and I don't really mind it right now. So let me know what you think about the notch. You probably don't like it either, so we're on the same side. Now that I'm thinking about it, the only feature I wish the screen had right now was a faster refresh rate. Maybe 90 hertz, not even 120. 90 hertz would be pretty nice. Yeah, that's it. I mean, overall, it's a great looking display. Apple doesn't call this a gaming phone, but I'd say it's kind of like a gaming phone. It runs any app you throw at it. Any game you want to play, this phone will play really well, really smooth. It performs like a boss. The iPhone has Apple's A13 Bionic chipset, a hexa-core CPU, and Apple's 4-core graphics GPU. What doesn't make the phone sound like a gaming phone is probably the 4 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, they had 4 gigabytes of RAM for a pretty long time. Hope they upgrade that in the next phone. Even now, the phone still performs like new. When I'm playing games, the phone does get warm, but it does not overheat, even though this has no liquid cooling. And the 4 gigabytes of RAM, I really do hope it gets bumped up to like 6 or 8 gigabytes. And yeah, I have the 512 gigabyte. No, I have the 256 gigabyte iPhone 11 Pro Max, and the storage on this phone has it's the same size as my MacBook Pro, so I have no problems with the storage on this phone, and the performance is overall great. Not only does this phone perform really well, the battery life on this phone is amazing. I can literally last over a day on a single charge. This phone has a 3969 milliamp battery that can also be wirelessly charged. And this phone does come with fast charging. It comes with an 18-watt fast charger that can charge your phone up to 50% in about 30 minutes. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. Oh yes, this phone is available in a couple of different colors. You might have seen the new color, the midnight green. All of these are matte colors. And yeah, space gray, silver, gold, and midnight green. I have the space gray colorway, and I gotta say, I'm loving it, like McDonald's. The title says it's kind of a perfect phone, but what would really make this phone perfect? Let me know in the comment section down below. I can't wait to read what you have to say. Because look, the iPhone has amazing sounding speakers. It has stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos and Dolby Digital Plus, and no headphone jack, but it does have Bluetooth 5.0, a Face ID, so you can unlock your phone with your face. No fingerprints needed here, and I gotta say the Face ID has been wonderful. It works almost 99.99% of the time, just like the hand sanitizers. Man, I'm bad at this. Anyways, yeah, you get into the Apple ecosystem, you get all those awesome Apple products you can spend your money on, or not, like me, because you know they're kind of expensive. But yeah, you will always get the latest updates from Apple. iOS 13, awesome. Yeah, also the camera. This has an amazing camera setup. We got the 3 little cameras on the back. There's a 12 megapixel f1.8 aperture wide camera, a 12 megapixel f2.0 telephoto camera, and a 12 megapixel f2.4 ultra wide camera. The ultra wide camera is what I got sold on, but just a tip or recommendation, if you really want an iPhone with an ultra wide camera, I'd say go with the iPhone 11. You know, unless you really want the Pro just for the name of the Pro. The iPhone 11 is pretty much almost on par with the iPhone 11 Pro Max in terms of everything. Of course, there are other things that's going to come and play, like the battery life, the price of the phones, between the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but that's for you to decide. But yeah, the price of this phone is definitely on the expensive side. I got this for $1,300 plus like change, and yeah, this was the most expensive phone I've ever purchased, and I did it for you guys, you know. Also, the front-facing camera is a 12 megapixel f2.2 aperture wide camera. It also features HDR, and it can record 4K videos up to 60 frames per second. Guys, this phone might be the only phone out right now that can record in 4K at 60 frames per second with all of its camera. Yeah, this is going to be a great phone if you want to start a YouTube channel maybe, or you want to take for videos. I don't mean to scream, but for videos, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, in my opinion, from my experience so far, is the best video taking phone. In terms of pictures, there are other phones that can also take really great looking pictures, like the S10 Plus, the Pixel 4 XL. There are just so many great smartphones with amazing cameras. Some might even, some will definitely take better looking photos than the iPhone in some scenarios. There's like a 108 megapixel camera like the Mi 10, Note 10, I think that's what it's called. But overall, what I'm trying to say is the iPhone 11 Pro Max has an amazing camera. So here's a quick recap. The iPhone 11 Pro Max has a great build quality. Stainless steel and glass is what this phone is made out of. On the backside, it has a matte finish, unlike any other phone. Like I said, amazing phone here. And it also has an amazing display, a 6.5-inch XDR OLED display with a pixel density of 458 ppi. And this phone screen can get really bright, so bright that I have no problems using this under direct sunlight. Also, in terms of performance, it performs really well. I'd say this is kind of like a gaming phone. It can run any app you throw at it. It has 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's not a lot, but the Apple's A13 Bionic chip and the hexa-core CPU with Apple's GPU definitely comes in play in terms of performance. Battery life on this phone is also amazing. I used to have an iPhone XS Max. That phone had a decent battery life, and this phone has a great battery life. It can last almost 2 days. You can make it last 2 days if you are careful with your phone. Also has an amazing camera, 3 cameras on the back and a camera on the front. All of them can take 4K videos at 60 frames per second. This is going to be great if you are going to be taking a lot of videos. And the last reason why I like using this phone is the OS experience. It's iOS 13. It's been out for a long time, and they really do work on bugs and fix them really quickly. The updates come as soon as possible. And also the Apple ecosystem you'll be entering is something you got to be careful with, because you might just get stuck in there. So yeah, I think all these features and characteristics and all these things that I've talked about this phone is why this phone is kind of perfect. Everything on it just works.